Good morning, everyone. My name is Nitika Batra, and today I'm going to discuss the topic circulatory system. So, what comes to your mind when you hear the word circulatory system? Definitely, it is a system that involves circulation of something inside the body. Let's see what it is. The circulating fluid is the connective tissue blood. Yes, blood is what circulates in your body, as you can see in the diagram from head to toe. Now, the second question that comes to our mind is why? What is the need of this circulation? To answer that, there are certain materials in your body, students, which are needed to be transported from one place to another. For example, we have waste products that are needed to go to the kidney for excretion. When glands produce hormones, we need to transfer them to their target tissues. Then there are important gases and nutrients which are needed to be distributed to each and every cell of the body. So for all these materials to go from one place to another, we needed a transportation system. Try to understand it this way. If you're sitting at home and you want to go to the market, you'll call a cab, maybe a car, get a bike, etc. You need certain kind of transportation system to carry you from one place to another. Similarly, these materials also need a transportation system so that they can go from one place to another. And for that, we have the circulatory system. So now we know why we have the circulatory system. Coming to the next thing, which are the components of circulatory system. So there are three major components of circulatory system. We have blood, heart, and blood vessels. Beginning with blood. Blood is composed of two things. There is plasma and then there are the blood cells which are suspended in it. Now, if I talk about the transportation, major transportation takes place through plasma in dissolved form. If you have to transport the ions, salts, hormones, gases, waste, most of it transport from one place to another in a dissolved state in plasma. Yes, there is oxygen which transports majorly through RBC, but except that major transportation takes place through plasma. Coming to the next component, which is heart. Now, heart is a muscular organ which is also known as the pumping organ because it pumps to release the blood with the pressure so that it can go to each and every cell of the body. But guys, this is not the only function of the heart. The other function of the heart, and one major one, is to separate the deoxygenated blood, which is represented by blue, from the oxygenated blood, which is represented by red. Let's see how. See guys, the heart is made up of four chambers. The two upper chambers, which are the right and left atrium, and the two lower chambers, which are the right and left ventricle. The atrium is connected to the ventricle. Similarly, the left atrium is connected to the left ventricle. But the right side of the heart is not connected to the left side of the heart. It is separated through septa, atrial septum and ventricular septum, because of which the deoxygenated blood from the body stays in the right side and the oxygenated blood from the lungs stays in the left side, and they both remain separated. The third component of our circulatory system is blood vessels. As you saw this diagram, you must have seen that the blood which is circulating in the body is circulating in certain pipelines and not directly into the cavity. These pipelines are known as blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels in humans. There are veins, heart, and arteries. See, the vessels which carry the blood away from the heart are known as the arteries. The ones which carry the blood back to the heart are known as veins, and the ones which connect these arteries and veins are known as capillaries. Capillaries are the place where the exchange of the material with the body tissues takes place. Let's begin with circulation. It is said that human beings have double circulation. Why it is said so? This is because in one heartbeat, our blood circulates twice. You can also see this in this diagram given here. There is pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. See, one circulation involves the body and the heart, and it's end here. The other circulation involves the heart and the lungs, and it goes on here. The one which involves the heart and the lungs is known as pulmonary circulation, and the one which involves the heart and the body is known as systemic circulation. Let's understand the process of circulation step by step, beginning with step number 1. At the body tissues level, when the oxygenated blood goes to the tissue, the oxygen is taken by the cells and the carbon dioxide is given back. Now this blood contains more of carbon dioxide, and hence it is known as the deoxygenated blood. This deoxygenated blood will be carried to the heart through vena cava, which is the step number 2. The deoxygenated blood from the body goes to the right atrium. Right atrium is in relaxed state so that it can receive the blood. It receives the blood, contracts to give the blood to the right ventricle, which is also the deoxygenated blood. Now in the step 3, this deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle will go to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Pulmonary because it's related to lungs, and artery because it is carrying the blood away from the heart. That is why the nomenclature pulmonary artery. Now we'll see in step 4 what happened at the position of lungs. So when you go to the lungs, you know that alveoli are present there, and because of the air from the outside, the oxygen pressure is more as compared to CO2. So what happens is the blood releases the CO2 to the alveoli and takes the oxygen. Because of the oxygen, the blood becomes oxygenated. You can also see the color changing from blue to red to see how the blood is becoming oxygenated. Now this oxygenated blood in the step 5 will again go back to the left atrium through pulmonary vein. The left atrium in the relaxed state receives the blood, contracts to give the blood to the left ventricle, and the left ventricle through aorta in the step 6 bring this oxygenated blood from heart to the body. This brings us back to the step 1 again, because the oxygenated blood will go to the tissues once again, give them oxygen, take back the carbon dioxide, and bring this deoxygenated blood back to the heart. So this is how this whole circulation takes place. And we can see how this double circulation is taking place too, because the oxygenated blood from the heart is going to the body. Deoxygenated is coming back to the heart, systemic circulation. The deoxygenated is going to the lungs to get oxygen, coming back to the heart, known as pulmonary circulation. So this is how this whole process works. Now we have studied what is the need of circulation. We have studied what are the components of the circulatory system and how this process actually takes place. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you.